All right, guys. Hi, and welcome to our second live Q&A with 321 Go project. The focus of these is to develop some business systems that you can take from here, answer any questions that you have, and then turn around and use those in your business today. I don't want to talk about any super high-level items with you guys, but I really am more interested in giving you a launching off point to where you'll be able to begin to look at your business and your customer experience and build some systems around those. So if you guys actually go and look at last week's broadcast, I kind of outline this map of what your customer experience looks like, and to kind of give you a launching off point to begin developing those systems. One thing that came up with all of the viewers that looked at the presentation afterwards was this idea of a member retention specialist. This goes by a lot of different names. We've called this a joy girl, a joy dude, a virtual high five ambassador, whatever you want to call this person. We've seen a lot of success using this person as a retention ambassador for our gym. So today I'm going to share with you how I organize my member retention specialist, and it has by far been the best investment that I've ever made in my gym, and one that is really easy to kind of train if you get the right person in there. So before we get going, I did want to do a couple of housekeeping items. I have enabled the live Q&A function, and I would really like it if you guys would ask any questions about any of these systems that we have going on. I would be more than happy to address them. And furthermore, we'll use the questions that you ask to go ahead and direct our efforts in these live broadcasts going forward. Secondly, we are on about a 20-second delay with this live feed. So if you ask a question and it doesn't look like I'm getting to it right away, trust that I am, and just wait about that 20 to 25-second delay and we'll get to it. So, as our launching off point, one thing that we're huge on at 321 Go Project is bright spots. And we look for bright spots with our athletes and with our coaches and with all of our staff, that we want to have that be sort of the base of our pyramid. So, I kind of have this like pyramid right here. So, we say that from the very beginning, the first time that an athlete ever comes into our gym, we want to find something that that athlete is good at. And we do that in our no sweat intro, is what we teach as a very high likelihood of that athlete having success long term is if their entry point into our gym is in this no sweat intro. And in this no sweat intro, the first thing that we ask people is, what are three things that are going exceptionally well for you right now? What are you doing well? And when you adopt this system, you're going to hear a lot of different crazy things from people. But the important thing here is just to celebrate their success no matter where it is. So you could hear, I've heard something like somebody tell me, I've started eating oatmeal for every meal, and that's what I've been doing right. I'm inclined to maybe step in and be a coach during that moment. But at that point, all you're looking to do is just celebrate whatever they view as their success in that moment. And this is going to be the base of our pyramid that we're going to use for our bright spots going forward. The next thing that we're going to ask people in this very first introductory session, when they come in for that no sweat intro, is going to be, what will it feel like when you're successful? So what we're looking for with that question is, what are those feelings of success? Who are you here for? We're trying to steer people away from things like, I want to drop 2 dress sizes, or I want to lose 20 pounds. But really, we're looking for something that they will feel successful at, that we'll be able to use no matter what they're interested in. So maybe they get to a point in their training with you where they want to get the heaviest clean and jerk in the gym. But they first came to you wanting to lose 20 pounds. Well, in both instances, we're able to really capture what those feelings of success are. And that's one thing that we know, is that as people's goals morph, that we're able to still reinforce their feelings of success instead of these sort of intangible goals. So that's an important point here. A lot of times we see gyms just asking people, what are your goals? Very just a blanket sense, and that's a little bit more difficult to measure long term as it would be to come around to those feelings of success. And you'll see in a minute when I get into our member retention specialist role, you'll see what I'm talking about here and how we can use some of these feelings of success. So um, we've talked about the no sweat intro. At this point, you're going to have that person will go through the no sweat intro, and then they're going to go into preferably your on ramp program, whatever that looks like, whether it's in a group or that's a one-on-one on ramp program. And then once they're in that program is when I take that athlete profile that we originally did. That can be a piece of paper or you can do it digitally. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that initial profile. So I'm going to take those bright spots and I'm going to take those feelings of success. And then that information is going to go to my member retention specialist. And like I said, we can call this person any number of things, joy ambassador, joy girl, joy dude, virtual high five, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna pass this information along to that person, and then once that gets to them, we've got this master list of athletes here. So we've got all of our athletes that do the no sweat intro. You can organize this on a piece of paper or in an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you'd like. But then what we're going to do is we're going to contact that person once they start on ramp. And this is just a really simple welcome to the gym. I just want to introduce myself. If you've got any questions, please just reach out to me. Oh, hey, while I have you, what's your preferred method of contact? Would you, like to be contacted via email, phone, text message? And just let them know, introduce them to this idea of a member retention specialist and let them know that, hey, we may be contacting you on a regular basis just to see how things are going and really invest in your success. That's the point of this position. So we contact them during on-ramp. And what we do is we come back to this base of the pyramid, this bright spots base. And we're going to say, hey, I talked with your coach and you're exceptionally good at deadlifts. Like, good job. I'm proud of you for being so good at deadlifts. I can't wait to see where you take that in the coming years. If you need anything from me, please just go ahead and reach out. So now, once they've started the on-ramp program or whatever your introductory program looks like, we've already reached out to them and established this mode of communication. Now, this next point of contact that your Joy ambassador is going to have, or your member retention specialist will have, is going to be that first month out of on-ramp. So this is going to be that month one, between month one and month two, likely. And one thing that I found in my gym is that this is probably the most volatile point in your athlete's experience. So, they've taken that leap and they've done on ramp and they've gotten through that month of on ramp, but they're looking at those regular classes and thinking, well, I could never make that leap. I couldn't make that jump into the regular CrossFit classes. So we want to make sure that there's a system in place to help this athlete integrate from on-ramp into those regular classes. So we go ahead and we put in another point of contact between our Joy ambassador and the new athlete at this point. So we're going to call this kind of this transition time, this month two transition. I'm going to pause right here, guys, and just reiterate that I've enabled the question and answer function. I'd like you guys to dictate where we go if you've got any questions on these systems. And again, we are on about a 25-second delay, so I will get to your questions, even though it doesn't look like I am right at the moment. Okay, so we're in this month, and we're right in between on-ramp and the regular class. And we've sort of established this as a period of limbo for your new athletes. So one of the things that I found that works really well during this transition period between on-ramp and your regular group classes is to ask the athlete what their next class time is going to be. So when your Joy ambassador contacts that person, maybe about a week before they're done with on-ramp, we're just going to ask them, again, following up. Bright spots is the base of our pyramid always. But then we're just going to ask the athlete, hey, what class time works best in your schedule? I would love to contact your coach and let them know to expect you, and also let them know that you just happen to be really good at the deadlift and to really celebrate that. So we have 2 points of contact now. We've got our no sweat intro, and in that no sweat intro, we've established bright spots, and we're going to use those bright spots going forward. In our second point of contact is going to be when somebody starts on ramp. In my gym, I really like to do a handwritten note for those people. So I have my member retention specialist, go ahead and write out a handwritten note and send it to the athlete that Friday after they've started on ramp. And we're just introducing the member retention person or the joy ambassador at that point. And then that next point of contact, in my experience, is by far the most important. If we can find that athlete between on-ramp and their first month of regular classes, then we're able to sort of bridge that gap, introduce them to some people in classes, shoot the coach of that next class an email and let them know, hey, Bob's going to be coming into your class. He's great at deadlifts, and he's got 2 kids, and he coaches their football team and is really looking forward to being able to have more energy to play with it. I mean, whatever it is, you guys get the idea. We want to be sure and we contact them during that point as they go into those regular group classes. So that's when an athlete starts. That's when we're going to be contacting them with this joy ambassador position. Then the next points of contact that we have, I like to have each of the members of my gym be contacted by the specialist at least once a month. Now we have several, instead of just like going through a list and calling people and asking them how they're liking things, we want to be able to, again, go back to this base of the pyramid is bright spots. And we want to be able to ask them, shine a light on some of these bright spots every month. So we have a few excuses that I like to say that we're going to contact people with. So the first one of those excuses is really easy. It's PRs. Now, you can track PRs in your member management software, I'm sure. A super easy way is just hang up one of these Home Depot whiteboards. They're really cheap. Hang them up, and it can just be PRs for that week. And then your joy ambassador can go ahead and snap a picture of that with their cell phone. And every Friday when they go to contact members, they're just going to go through that PR list. And I don't like to contact members more than once a month unless they indicate that they would like it or need it. So if somebody PRs every week, obviously we're just going to contact them one of those weeks that they PR. So we're going to contact them. Good job on your deadlift PR. We're so proud of you. Let's keep the momentum going. Something just super simple. But again, we're really focusing on their bright spots and the things that they're really good at. The next point of contact that we're going to have is going to be just a celebration. So the ideal candidate for your joy ambassador is somebody that's like really active on social media, hangs out with people at the gym a lot, knows everything that's going on, knows when people's birthdays are. They notice like pregnancy announcements, engagements, weddings, all that stuff that as the gym owner, I have so much more going on. It's not that I don't care, but it's just that's not in my skill set to be paying attention to those things. So when I'm looking to hire my joy ambassador, I'm looking for somebody who just naturally has their finger on the pulse of things that are going on in people's lives outside of the gym. So my joy ambassador is going to contact people who in that month have had just some kind of, really exceptional thing happen in their life, and just let them know, hey, we're so happy for you. We're thinking about you here at the gym. Again, just really celebrating bright spots. So the next point of contact that we're going to have with people is this strong retention piece, and we're going to talk to people that have not been around for 2 weeks or more. So if somebody's kind of falling off motivation, you guys know how this goes. Like work gets busy, especially right now we're getting into the fall, and people kind of have this really relaxed schedule during the summer. And then oftentimes in their jobs getting into September and October, they're having to play catch up for everything that they sort of slacked off on in the summer. So you guys see a lot of disintegration from the gym during this time of year. So it's really important that when your Joy Ambassador contacts people that have not been around for 2 weeks or more, that we go back to our base of bright spots. So we want to remind them of why they came to us in the first place. Remind them of the things that they're good at. Remind them of the PRs that we've contacted them about previously, and try and come from that perspective, come from the bright spot perspective, as opposed to, uh, you know, where have you been? Like, get in the gym. You're probably getting out of. I mean, whatever you guys would say to that person, the focus has to be on bright spots and feelings of success for people that haven't been in the gym for 2 weeks or more. So that's going to be a point of contact. So I want to pause right here and talk about contacting athletes that have not been around for 2 weeks or more. Again, first rule of thumb on contacting absentee athletes is to focus on their bright spots. And then the second thing that we can do is we can use some of our other high value services to bring them in, to reintegrate them into our program. So one of the things that works really, really well is a skill session, a half-hour skill session. So my Joy Ambassador gets 2 half-hour skill sessions a month that she can give away at her discretion. So if there's an athlete just that every time there's like a snatch in a workout, for example, and they're just super frustrated at the idea of a snatch, and you guys know how this goes. They start to cherry pick all those workouts, and then it becomes easy to cherry pick another one, and the next thing you know, they only come to the gym once a month or once a week. So what she's going to do is she's going to say, hey, you know, is there a movement that seems to be exceptionally frustrating? I'd like to give you a $40 coupon. So we're going to assign a dollar figure to it. I'd like to give you a $40 coupon for a skill session that you can use with Matt. Go ahead and contact him, shoot him an email to schedule that with him. And so that's another way. So if it's certain movements or things that people are uncomfortable with that is keeping them out of the gym, we're going to go ahead and come through with a skill session for them. Another thing that we can do is just have another sit down, do almost a new no sweat intro. So if they need a goal setting session to sort of reinvigorate things, then we're going to bring them in to do another no sweat intro, and ideally have that original sheet that we did with them and revisit some of those bright spots and revisit some of those feelings of success. So that's our third point of contact. So remember, we're going to contact athletes with PRs. So always celebrate things that they're good at. We're going to contact athletes with just random celebrations. And again, this is a function of getting the appropriate Joy Ambassador on the bus, because they will know when all of these things happen. For most gym owners, I'm going to guess that you are way too busy to just be scouring Facebook and find out, you know, who had a baby, who got engaged, and things like that. So get somebody on the bus that really understands those things. And then that third point of contact is going to be athletes that haven't been in our gym for a couple weeks or more. So one other thing that I have added for my Joy Girl, I give her 2 skill sessions that she can use every month, that she can give away to people who haven't been around the gym or happen to be frustrated with a certain aspect of their fitness. And the second thing that I've begun giving her in the last 3 or 4 months is a $100 discretionary budget every month. And this is a no questions asked, you know, anything comes up that you think that somebody could use a gift. So this is like a baby shower, or this is, you know, I actually had a member who you know, went and took her daughter to college, and, you know, like took her, you know, out of state to college, you know, put her in a dorm. And this isn't something that I would ever have thought of to do, because that's just not where my skill set is. But my Joy Ambassador really realized, hey, this could be a really tough time for this mom right now, and we need to show her support. So she just sent her like a bouquet of flowers, or chocolate covered strawberries or something like that. But so this is the idea, is that there's probably somebody in your gym that would do a much better job at spreading joy and bright spots to your gym than you would. So in my opinion, of all the people that you could hire, this is the one person you're going to see the highest return on that investment. So I hope you have a strong idea of how we're going to organize these points of contact through member retention. Now, how do we hire and find this person? So the number one thing that we need to look at when hiring this joy ambassador is that they are joyful, that they enjoy being at the gym, that they're happy, that they talk with anybody, and they have the availability to have this sort of social interaction. And again, chances are this ideal candidate is going to be somebody that is not you, the owner of your gym, because you've got a million other things going on. So chances are this is going to fall into somebody else's skill set really, really well. The second important thing about hiring this person is that they have a set schedule that they can dedicate every week to making phone calls or emails or sending text messages. So for me, this worked out really well to do it on Friday afternoons. So the majority of my members all live and work in a downtown metropolitan area. So they, by nature, if you guys have ever worked in a corporate office, you know that not much work occurs on Friday afternoon. So that just turned out to be a great time to make all of these points of contact. So she's going to, from about 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. every week, go through these different contact points. Guys, that's essentially it. Again, I wanted to let you know we do have the live Q&A function up right now. So if you have any questions, we are on that delay, but submit a question. I'd be happy to answer it. Otherwise, if you'd like to learn more, if you're not a part of the 321 Go Project Academy, if you're not a part of the mentorship program or anything like that, you guys can actually schedule a free half-hour call. I'll post a link to that in this broadcast. If you guys have any questions and want to explore any of these member retention systems first. So before I go, I do want to reiterate that if you own a gym and you are, one thing that I always would say to some of my mentoring clients is that your first, like your first $100 beyond profitability. So like you're profitable month to month, the next $100 that you spend every month should be on this member retention specialist, beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's such an easy system to put in place with very little organization on the front end of it. But the return that you'll see on this system is incredible. So I would encourage you, gym owners, if this is not currently something that you're doing, that this should probably be your next major hire, because like I said, it will return an incredible amount on the investment that you put into it. So guys, again, I'm going to post a link. You can schedule a free call. There's a lot of other information on Joy Girl, member retention, bright spots on 321goproject.com. There's a little search function on that website up in the top right-hand corner. Just click there, type in any of the terms, any of the things that we talked about today, and there's probably 3 or 4 blog posts as well as a bunch of free downloads to where you can begin to implement these systems. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be right back here next week. I'll look forward to it. Thanks.